Alright guys, so in order to make this app more efficient, what we're going to be doing is this. We're going to be taking this bit of code, which again remember simulates some long calculation, and we're going to say, okay, take this bit of code and instead of just running it on the main thread, on the main program, go ahead and stick it inside another thread and do it in the background. So take this, go off somewhere else, perform your calculation, and leave the main program to go about its business. So that's all the thread is. So let's go ahead and learn how to do that right now. And let me give myself some space to work with. Alright, so essentially, remember, and I really don't know like if everyone knows about threads or not, but what you do is you create something called runnable. Now this runnable object, inside here, you can stick code that you're going to put inside a thread. So of course, let me just type this first, probably be easier. Runnable, there we go. Alright, so as you can see, auto completed, and make sure you have your semicolon at the end there. So whenever you make a runnable object or a runnable class, inside this run method is essentially what code do you want to stick inside your thread? What code is going to take a long time that you want to run in the background? Well, it's this bit of code right here, so I'm just going to cut it and paste it right in there. So now we have a bit of code that we can stick inside a thread. Again, you need to put it inside a runnable object, and that's just that's just how Java is set up. Now, another thing I want to point out is this. Make sure that you do not stick this bit of code inside any thread, any runnable object, or anything like that. The rule is, whenever you're making Android apps, you never want to change any interface element, update the interface at all within a thread. In order to update the interface or change the user's view, we need to make something called a handler, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that in just a second. But anyways, to finish this thread up right here, again, we stuck all of our code inside runnable right here, and now we need to stick it inside a thread. So I'm just going to name my Bucky's thread, and you set it equal to new thread with your runnable code inside there. So again, you can actually have multiple threads with multiple bits of code, and whenever you call them, they can run all at the same time. So you can actually have 3 different ones right here, and it's actually depending on your computer or your device how many threads it can run at the same time. But essentially, you can have 4 different chunks of code all running at the same time instead of just top down one at a time like we learned before. So this creates a new thread, and the one last line of code you need to do is you just need to start it, and it essentially just starts performing this bit of code. So let me just cut this, and I'm gonna run this bad boy right now. Alright, so check out what's going on so far. So again, remember I cut that code to update the text right here, so the text isn't going to update, but whenever we click the button, it's not freezing like before. It doesn't have to wait 10 seconds, even though inside this click Bucky's button, we have code to just wait 10 seconds. So it's not freezing up, it's allowing us to click it over and over and over again. Pretty stinking sweet. But of course, to complete this program, what we want to do is we want to allow it to update the interface, change this hello text to, what did I have on it, like nice job or something. So let's go back to our project, and let me just tighten all this up. I think it just looks better that way. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to import android.os.handler and import android.os. Why do I keep writing os.message? There we go. So in order to update the interface, what we do is we create something called a handler. Now remember, I said the rule is whenever you want to update your interface, you can't do it within a thread. It's bad practice, and the reason you can't do that is because a thread is essentially something that you can have multiple things running of at once. So if you have a bunch of different stuff trying to update your interface, then it's gonna, well, first of all, it can crash your program. Second of all, it would just be stupid if one thing is trying to change this hello variable and another thing is at the same time. It's just bad programming practice, even if it doesn't crash your program. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a handler, and the handler, I'm just going to name my handler. You can name anything you want. Set equal to new handler, and this is going to be chilling on your main thread. So again, this is pretty much part of your main program, and inside here we're just going to call alt insert to call a method. Here it is, handle message right there. So again, a handler is essentially just part of your threaded application that sits on your main thread, and it's responsible for updating the interface since those threads aren't allowed to. Simple enough. So delete this code right inside here, and I actually have that copied still, I think. Let's see what's on. Sweet. So inside here you can just put that code to update that bit of text right here. So now you're thinking, alright, well, how does it know when to call this handler and update this little bit of text? Well, we have to add one line of code, and that goes right here. Alright, so after your calculation is complete, what you can do is you can take that handler and call send empty message. Now, I'll talk to you guys about sending messages to the handler later on, but essentially what this does is it just calls the handler. That's all you guys really need to know for now. That's how you use handlers. Again, you can take messages and pass them along, but whenever we create apps that do something other than you just click a button and wait for something to happen, then it's going to make a lot more sense. But for now, let's go ahead and run this, and everything should be working perfectly. Alright, so check it out. I'm going to click this button right now, click, and this text is still going to take 10 seconds to update because that's what we told it to do. But in the meantime, the app isn't frozen. I can still click this button, I can still use other parts of the app, and of course when it's done, the handler changes it perfectly. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the benefits and the power of using a threaded application. Again, anytime you have any hard work to do, then just stick it inside a thread, and of course you can just use the handler to update the interface, and well, pretty stinking easy, and your apps are going to perform a lot better. So in the future tutorials, I'm going to be showing you guys some other cool stuff that you can do with threads, and you guys are going to be app developer pros in no time. So for now, thanks for watching, and well, see you later.